And welcome, guys, to Monday night. Before I start, let's see if my audio's working, and it's working. All right, perfect. All right. Welcome to Monday night's podcast, guys. For the people that are in the Maritimes, you guys definitely know that we're in one of the biggest snowstorms that I've seen in a long time, guys. I mean, being 29 years old and stuff, I mean, it's pretty nasty outside. And I love snowstorms. I'm a sucker when it comes to rainstorms, thunder, lightning, you name it. So this is great. And to be honest with you, I think this is probably the first snowstorm of the year, even though we had few little snow squalls, but never like this. But it is, at that time of the year, we're usually good for about 2 or 3 around March break. We should know that, all the people that are in their 29 years of living on this earth, especially in the Maritimes, you guys should know that we're definitely due for a couple more after this one, but they don't last long. Anyway, welcome to Monday night, guys. So before we begin, let's do our shout outs to our Freedom family, our patriots, our common sensors, our purebloods, our once upon a time purebloods, our American family, and so on and so on. All right. So I know we got a bunch of people in here, so we'll try to get it done as fast as we can, and because I got a lot of videos to show you guys. And actually, before I do the shout outs, I hope everybody paid attention to that intro video. All right. I mean, people would even, with a little bit of common sense, all right, just a little bit, like 5%, maybe 10% common sense. If you watch that video of that intro and you cannot use your common sense or your third eye to pick up, the capitulation tour that he did in 2018 or 2017, sorry. And you can't figure out of all those world leaders and how unhappy they looked and how the Vatican looked and Prince Charles and the Queen and them dressed up, Milana dressed up all in black with the Vatican, and the Pope was the one that looked like he's seen a ghost. And I mean, if you can't use your common sense to take a very good look at that and know that Trump has really shit on their plans. So when people look at me and they say, how can you think that it's the same politicians with the same wings on the same bird crap? Well, I've been saying this for the longest time. Trump's not a politician. That's what people got to really get out of their minds, is Trump's not a politician. And when you had retards like Mr. Freedom that's saying that Trump is evil and this and that. I mean, well, who takes advice from a roofer to begin with, right? Obviously, a roofer. Give me a break. But I'm just saying, just that one video alone, not including the one video that I could share with people, but I'd be banned. This account would be shut down because of the video that I have, which some of you seen, with the whole thing with adrenochrome and how Trump stopped that. That video is 4 minutes long, but it literally it closes my Facebook account down for good. So we can't play that video, obviously, because that would shut us down. So anyway, let's do our shout outs. And I hope people with common sense would definitely see through that introduction and see what had happened in 2017 and what still happens to this very day. All right. So the first shout out's going out to Mr. Mac. How you doing, Mac? Judy Horn from Kentucky. Juanita, Miss Anna Gallant, my cousin. Gerald Pitu. How you doing, Brent from North Carolina? Miss Debbie Gray. Joan. Gilles Bourgeois. Bert Viano, brother from a different mother. Vincent. Sylvia from the island. I'll be down there Wednesday, Sylvia. To be honest with you, I'm actually going to Prince Edward Island this Wednesday to install a reverse osmosis machine in a place, just to let you know. How you doing, Roland, Miss Sharon, Yolanda, Patty Voltor, Stephen from Halifax. The water filter is great. Thanks again. Yeah, I just want to ask you, buddy, how's your water now? I bet you see a difference, huh? People, if they only knew, speaking of another one, Joel, that has a water reverse, he's just down the street from me, so he's enjoying the snowstorm. How you doing, Brenda? Dale from Nova Scotia, brother from a different mother, Martin from Rishabaktu, Miss Charlene and her beautiful animals, Miss Linda from Pennsylvania, Monique, Nancy, Elizabeth from Northern BC, Camaro Chevy Girl from Nova Scotia, Dorothy from Saskatchewan, Dallas from Canada, of course. How you doing, Greg from Kingston, Jeanette, Ron from the Peg area, Marcel Robbie Show, May, Juanita, Nick, Of course, our Freedom Nick, Jeanette, Jim, Genevieve from The Rock, Mo from Somerset, Norman, Wanda, Andrea from Penfield, New Brunswick, Miss Lee's from Moncton or Dieppe, Dan Sear, Melanie Clemens from Tennessee, Judy Gold from Nanaimo, Miss Lisa from Ontario, Dan Marsh, Miss Carrie from Ontario, who just got her ivermectin fenbenzidol mailed to her today, along with a couple more people. Jaco, time to bring it all down. Yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it, my friend, and I love it. Juanita and Iran will too. Who else here? I think that's it. Miss Michelle, of course, from Ontario, guys, and my aunt Maria and my uncle Claude. I hope he paid attention to that video if he's watching. How you doing, Miss Jeanne? And Kay from Indiana, Manny, brother from a different mother, who we did a little DJ thing in his hometown Friday night. We had a great time. There's a great crowd there, and we'll be doing it again next month for the people in the Rishabuktu area. It was great. I had a great time. Elizabeth says the Pope was pissed because Trump made him wear his red shoes. Yeah, we all know about those red shoes, huh? How you doing, Terry from Arizona? Who else here? And I think that will be it for now. I had mine for more than... Okay, so first things first, like I said, I hope everyone's paying attention to that video. It's great. I love those introduction, even though it was 5 minutes, I had to play it just, to kind of keep everyone on a swivel of, what has happened and what has been going on behind closed doors. And obviously, if we don't see everything, doesn't mean things are not happening. Trust me, they're happening. But things that make you go, So usually let's start off with the boring stuff, which is Canadian politics. All right, let's start off with the Canadian politics like we always do. And then we'll move on to the real important stuff. So the first things first, what we've been saying all along of why Mark Carney, that whole thing that happened in that little town in northern BC with the transformer shooting. What is it? 8, 9, 10 people now? I don't even know. Every news thing is a different amount. And then all of a sudden, Mark Carney, just like Justin Trudeau, Castro's son, within a week was saying, we're coming after the guns now. That's what they do. They love when stuff like this happens. And I hate to use the word they love, but they really do. They really love when stuff like this happens, these psychops, false flags, whatever, happens, because the more that these things happen, the better and easier they think it is that they're going to come after our guns. And we all know why they're trying to come after our guns. Like, we all know. They've been trying to do it in the United States for the longest time. Is it going to work? No, it's not going to work. I know a lot of people that have guns, and the police will be the last people on earth to become knocking at their door, because they're never going to give it up, for one thing. And I think the police would be shitting their pants of trying to get the guns off of the people that I know. Anyway, it wouldn't look good. If you think Mexico was bad, it wouldn't look good. So they'll try, but no police officers or no. That's why they're mentioning the military, and the military are even more wimps than the police officers, because they, obviously they probably have tampons up their ass, because obviously, if you don't know anything about our military, which is the biggest joke on the face of the earth, this is our, and women, don't get me wrong, don't. You know how it is. I got three personalities. I've got, before we throw this one out, I've got 3 personalities for the people that just start following me. I've got the Archie Bunker of the great 70s. I've got the Don Cherry of the great 80s and 90s. And I've got myself, Jeff Freedom. I got no filter. So when I tell you that Canada is the laughingstock of the whole world, I do mean it, because when you have something like this, our top general breaks down in tears as she apologizes for systematic racism. That's right, guys. Number one is, that has got to be the biggest joke I've ever heard in my entire life, is that our Canada's top general is a female. All right, that's a joke. And I don't care if you women get offended by that, because I'm going to tell you something, and you can get offended. If you get offended, then you're definitely a liberal. All right, you shouldn't be watching my show. Is anybody can raise up their hand if they ever seen in war zones that there was always females on the front line. Can anybody put their hands up if they ever seen a female, in war zones on the front line? Because I guarantee you that doesn't happen. That shit does not happen whatsoever. So to call our top commander of the military a female, all right, is the biggest joke in Canadian military history. And if I was a military personnel, I would be, well, next time I would be opted out to get out of my contract. I'd be the first one out, because there would be no shit in hell that I would respect a woman in the military as my commanding officer. Sorry, it is what it is. Take it as it is. But to me, that's probably the biggest joke. And now she's, crying in tears of systematic racism, which is another, we all know what this person is a DEI hiree, right? We all know this. We should know. If you don't know it, then you know it now. But yeah, this is pretty much a sad case. She's a general. That's right. She's a general. And she's saying that she's ready for war. Anytime with the United States, guys. Can you imagine this thing? Puts tampons in men's washrooms, so they can, so this is the truth. She puts tampons in men's washroom. The recruiting numbers look better on paper, and they're even getting worse. Nobody really wants to be under her leadership. I hate to even use that word, leadership. And then you got retards like this in Canada, right? Check this out. You guys are going to love this one.
Today, we are introducing new categories designed to meet and support Canada's evolving needs and reflect our government's determination to attract the best talent to Canada. And finally, we are creating a new category for skilled military recruits to attract highly skilled foreign military applicants. Eligible recruits with a job offer from the Canadian Armed Forces, including doctors, nurses, pilots, can be invited to apply for permanent residence. They will be subject to the same security and all military requirements. This new category will support our government's commitment to strengthen our armed forces, to defend our sovereignty, and to keep Canadians safe.
Yeah, and speaking of retards, then you got this retard, another female that can't even speak properly, is our immigration minister, who literally just told everyone, just like what Ireland's doing, is bringing in, if immigrants want to get their visas even faster, they join our military and they would be granted, asylum. And I like how she says skilled, right? Because obviously all the immigrants that are in our country right now are all engineers and doctors and nurses and all that, right? We all know that, right? Because, while they're working at Tim Hortons Donuts or at McDonald's or at Burger King, those doctors and engineers are just waiting for a job to get into, the hospitals, obviously, right? There's nothing like having a doctor serve me my, a triple in the morning with my Boston cream, right? Make sense to you? Yeah, that's right. So in that, this gentleman actually pointed out something like I just said, but it's 38 seconds. Check this out.
Now, let's say I wanted to take over a country. First thing I was going to do is I would disarm the population. And if they didn't want to give up their guns willingly, I'd try to buy them. And if they didn't want to sell me their guns, I'd ask the police to go take the guns. And if the police didn't want to go get those guns, I'd ask the military to go get those guns. And if the military said, no, we're not going to fight against our own people, I would just bring in a whole bunch of foreigners, make them soldiers. They're going to do whatever the fuck I say, because this isn't their people, and they're just happy to be out of the third world country that I just brought them out of. So let's bring in a bunch of foreigners, put them on the military.
Yeah, that's a common sense question, right? Take away the guns, right? And then obviously, anytime the government wants to do something, we don't have nothing to defend ourselves, right? AKA Venezuela, AKA Australia, AKA the UK, right? Is that going to happen here? No, not at all. And speaking of, Chinese, because obviously that video that I shared about 3-4 years ago of the Chinese actually doing training in the prairies where they got caught doing military training. Now they were saying, Trudeau said at the time that they were trained because he got caught. They were doing warfare training in snow, because we know there's a lot of snow in China, obviously. But check this out, that's happening in the Maritimes in PEI alone.
Investigation came to us, and what we found was money laundering, corruption, and elite capture at the highest levels. During our investigation, we had some brave citizens, islanders from Prince Edward Island that came forward and provided a depth of information that would provide for a law enforcement agency sufficient grounds to launch a criminal investigation. The Master Jin Yan, who came into the province, it is our belief from our investigation that he's tied directly back to the PLC, or the Communist Party in China. We were able to establish that the monastery has set up a network of corporations. And if you look at it from a point of view of money laundering, it's what you would anticipate finding in an organized crime network. This monastery, if you look at it from a Dalai Lama's point of view, you would not anticipate finding corporations, land transfers, land flips, and citizens being paid under the table cash for residences and property. And that is what has happened in Prince Edward Island now for a period of a number of years, ever since the provincial nominee program came into existence and they were allowed in.
Again, the investigation, Canada Under Siege, how Prince Edward Island became a forward operating base for the Chinese Communist Party. An investigation that really actually spans 5 years of research and intelligence gathering, and an 18-month to 2-year investigation that involved Gary Clement and Michelle Juno-Katsuya, the former chief of Asia Pacific. And it has a deep collaboration, including international and Canadian security experts, whistleblowers, eyewitnesses, religious experts, and consultation with multiple governments on multiple.
So yeah, that video goes on to talk for about 4 minutes. So yeah, obviously we know that there's Chinese police stations in Ontario, duh. And I think Ron just mentioned, yeah, they did something, they got caught somewhere in BC. Yeah, because I mean, back in 1993 or 94, when I lived in BC, it was already called Vancouver. So I can't even imagine 30 years after that what Vancouver looks like in today's society, when it really was Vancouver back then. So yeah, they're everywhere. You know, while we're focusing a lot on the Pakistans and the Indians and the Africans now, Chinese are sliding in there. All right, they're literally sliding in under the radar, I guess you could say. But corruption, yeah, 100%. But it's actually in our own backyard where I am. Speaking of retards and liberals, obviously, because I know they're part of the plan. Because obviously, I mean, you would have to be a complete moron to not know that there's Chinese infiltrated. Because remember what the CSIS said? I think it was last year, CSIS, when they came out and said that they know of members since the days of Mulroney, that CSIS, that the Chinese have infiltrated Parliament, right? I mean, they came on record, but where did that go? That didn't go anywhere, obviously, right? Because CSIS can't do anything. CSIS literally can't do nothing to the government, all right? The only people that really can do anything to the government, really, is the military, all right? Because the military are supposed to be on top of everyone. They're the ones that protect the crown, all right? Just to let you know. They're the ones that protect the crown, the country. So they're the only ones that really can do anything when it comes to government officials, just like what Trump's doing in the United States, which I'll get to, you know, in sooner or later. All right. And speaking of retards, check this out, because you guys will like this common sense of why our food prices are skyrocket. You know, this, for the people that didn't see this on my Facebook wall today, you guys will like how the liberals are blaming this reason why the food prices are sky high. Check this out.
It's a good day when everyone around the table agrees that we need to fight for research and innovation. And as we know, we've heard from expert witnesses, and we know that the #1 cause of rising food is climate change, and how critical data is for our producers to be able to combat climate change and still produce the high quality that food that Canadians have come to depend on.
Yeah, Yeah, you guys heard that right. The the prices of food are being risen up because of climate change. And as I look outside and I go, yeah, it's definitely climate change outside, guys, because I mean that is one hell of a storm. Ron goes, Schwab said that Trudeau's cabinet was penetrated easily. Remember, of course, Ron. I mean, everyone that follows me should already knows that video that's out there. And I wish the Liberal voters, but they probably would say it's just AI, where Klaus Schwab literally came out and said, "Oh, we've got," and I can't imitate his voice. He literally said, "We have the whole Justin Trudeau and most of the cabinet penetrated, the Liberal government penetrated." Penetrated. I think he knows. I think Trudeau really knows what penetrated really means. To be honest with you. So, in case you guys missed that video where Katy Perry's ex and Justin Trudeau had a thing together, and I forgot his name. To be honest with you, I literally forgot his name. Katy Perry's ex, but him and Trudeau were caught. With the whole penetration that Klaus Schwab is talking about. And that's a true fact. I think people should know that by now. I think they already know. I think people already know about Justin Trudeau and his his ways, closet, coming out of the closet. And speaking of coming out of the closet, just to let you know, Canada now is the second largest country on earth with unlimited levels of oil, natural gas, minerals, gold, you name it. Like, I mean, the second largest country on earth. But guess what? Behind, because of the Liberal government, Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney, they messed up so bad on purpose. They didn't mess it up. They did this on purpose that now we are actually poorer than the state of Alabama. And we're literally right behind Mississippi, which is the poorest state of all North America. While we're literally now poorer than Alabama. For you people, just to let you know. And that's not something to brag about. Let's just put it this way. All right. It's really nothing to brag about. And speaking about nothing to brag about, I mentioned this the other day. So hepatitis outbreaks at Indian staff Tim Hortons. That's right. So a bunch of these Tim Hortons around Canada people are finding out that there's a hepatitis outbreak around all these Tim Hortons, and the common denominator is they're all being staffed by Indians. And if you can see, there's one here, hepatitis A outbreak confirmed at Tim Hortons in Nova Scotia. Let me just get this a little bit bigger so I can read these out. These are all articles, guys. Customers in North London, Ontario, Tim Hortons asked to monitor for hepatitis A symptoms. Emerald Park, Tim Hortons, February 15th. Like, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And I can't see the top left, which one. Oh, very low risk of hepatitis A spread to customers at Hunt Club Tim Hortons. I mean, this is people better take this serious, because I don't know if anybody knows what hepatitis does to the liver and kidneys, but that it's not a very good trade-off to go and get a double and you end up with a Boston cream and hepatitis A. All right, because it's illegal to bring in any kind of meat or any kind of food or any kind of fruit or any kind of insect into Canada, because it would mess up the ecoculture. I think I pronounced that right. But what happens when you bring in 10 million dirty Indians and Africans into a country that are from, that are from places that are like not even fit for sewers? And they bring it into a place like Canada, all right? And you don't think diseases are not going to come? No, they're doing these diseases on purpose to try to lock down and bring out this whole virus, another new virus that's coming out. And speaking of viruses, here, we'll check this out. Here's a virus right here. So the Canadian government have scholarships in 2026 for immigrants. Just to let you know, I'm going to read this out. That's right. Scholarships for foreign students. What the hell is wrong with our current federal government? Why support non-citizens at every turn? That's right. So these are fully funded scholarships given out to undergraduate students that are foreigners. That's right. Tell me what comes out of this, guys, if you don't think that the Liberal government are not doing this on purpose to literally destroy our economy and they're doing this on purpose because there is no reason for this. There's not one good reason to give out free scholarships to non-Canadians. There is nobody in this world that is going to tell me there's one good thing that comes out of this. What was this again? Okay, yeah. So this is not Canada, but the police in London, because this is going to be coming to Canada, the police in London have banned a walk with Jesus. All right, a walk with Jesus with Christians and Catholic people to avoid provoking the local Muslim community. That's right, guys. But Muslims are allowed to do this. All right. This is what I mean. When it's too late, it's going to be too late. That's one of the other main reasons why they're trying to take our guns away from us. So when we are being overran by Muslim people, we're not going to be able to protect ourselves or do things to gain back our sovereignty, right? That's another one of the reasons why they've been trying to take away our guns also. All right, just to let you know. What was this one again? Oh yeah, this one. Canadians now spent over $1 billion to cover the healthcare costs of refugee claimants. That's right. On February 17th of this year, we're up to $1 billion in that we're coming out of our pockets to for healthcare costs of refugee claimants. That's right, guys. $1 billion. Do you know what $1 billion looks like? And do you definitely know what $1 billion can do? All right, can do to the people that are living on the street right now in this major snowstorm, which I looked at my girlfriend. I said, there's no one surviving. If they're out on the street today, all right, there's no one surviving this snowstorm if they're staying outside tonight. I mean, it would be literally impossible. Okay, we'll just leave it to that. It would be literally impossible because we just opened the door. And I mean, I only probably could last out there maybe 20, 30 minutes at the most. And these people have to find shelter. But you don't see any immigrants out there, right? No, they're in hotels and MB housing that they kick out the single mothers to throw these cockroaches in there. And they are cockroaches. I don't care what anybody says. They're cockroaches, they're parasites, and they're locusts. All right. Check this out for the people in New Brunswick. That's right. New Brunswick's projected $1.33 billion of a deficit is the highest in the province's history. Wow. The highest in the province history after 1 year. 1 year of a liberal twat that took over New Brunswick. 1 year is the highest deficit in history in our province. But it gets better. Speaking of twats, look at this twat in BC. Yes, when he took office back in 2023, if I'm not mistaken, they had something like a $2 billion surplus. Now BC budget projects $13.3 billion in deficit for 2026-27, the largest in province history. And of course, what leader is he? NDP or China? Sorry, let's CCP. Okay, because that if you would have to be a complete moron to not know that that EB is not already been infiltrated by the CCP. You would have to be a complete moron. All right, is there a video that I want to share? Yeah, I'll share one more video of Canada BS, and then we'll get to the real good stuff. All right, check out the other conflict of interest of what they're doing with our money. This should make you guys happy.
I knew it was bad, but this is so much worse. Wait until you hear what Mark Carney, Canada's new Prime Minister, just spent $500 million on. This is absolutely shocking. And keep in mind, this is at the same time that food prices skyrocketing, homelessness, we got veterans on the streets. Listen to this freaking spending.
Well, a Prime Minister who describes himself as a European is giving $500 million to the European Space Agency to create good jobs in Europe. And it gets worse because the Harwell Science and Innovation Campus, where the European Space Agency is located in the UK, is 50% owned by Brookfield. Rather than focusing on lining the pockets of Brookfield and not ripping off Canadian workers, why don't they invest in Canada? Unfortunately, the other side doesn't recognize the key role that space investments play in our country and our national innovation, especially in a critical historical year for Space for Canada. We're sending not one but 2 astronauts into space. This is an incredibly exciting time for Canada and Canadians to be inspired by the potential of space and space in our economy.
$500 million to study space. And then the guy...
Yeah, it lasts another 40 seconds, but I think you get the concept. $500 million to study space. If that doesn't make you angry, I don't know what else makes you angry, because that's why they've been trying to take our guns. Because when the Canadians actually have enough, it's not going to be good for anybody. $500 million to study space. All right. There's no space, guys. We live in a firmament. They know this. And if they don't know this, they're just acting, or they're playing dumb. There's no space. I'm not stupid. I'm not weird. There is enough evidence and enough proof that there's no such thing as space. All right. We live in a flat earth. There's all kinds of proof. There's pilots actually that sign non-disclosure agreements saying that they can't say that there's no such thing as that the earth is flat, and that their controls on the airplanes are made for dimensions of being on a flat plane. Get it? Plane, Plain. It's always been in our face. But to talk about $500 million for more money laundering, that's all that is. It's just amazing, and it's sickening. All right, enough of that bull crap. Let's get into some things here that will make you go, All right. Let's do that, and then we'll get into the Trump stuff, because obviously, if you follow me and you love me, you also know that I'm a big Trump supporter. As you can see back there, he is the man. If you follow the intro video, if you haven't seen the intro video, all right, check it out. You'll understand why Trump's the man. All right, let's go with this. Things that make you go, All right, so think of this. Think outside the box, take the blinders off, and check this out, because it makes sense.
The video you're about to watch is for entertainment purposes only. It's purely fiction. It's in no way representative of my views or any of reality as a whole. This is purely for entertainment. This is a scrying mirror, and a scrying mirror is something that's used in occult practices and demonology to speak to jinn and demons. And for centuries, people have been using these things to communicate with the dark entities on the other side. And what does that look like? Now, why would your phone look like a scrying mirror? Why would entities have any need to communicate with you? And you have to ask yourself, what's really going on here? Why does all of the technology look like scrying mirrors? Why do TVs look like scrying mirrors? Why do computer screens look like scrying mirrors? And why do phones look like scrying mirrors? It's because they are scrying mirrors. The jinn live in the technology. The demons live in the technology. And if you look at this, this is a city from above. And this is a computer motherboard. Look at them. They're very similar, because cities are motherboards. And if you look at this is what's known as a bus route map on a motherboard. And this is what a bus route map in a city looks like. Do you see the similarities? So on a motherboard for a computer, you have electricity that runs through the motherboard, and that powers the motherboard. So what is the source of electricity in the city? It's you. You are the source of electricity for the city. They are building a giant computer out of the earth, and that's because jinn need the technology to come through into this dimension. So to get into our dimension, they need to come through the technology. And so they're doing it by getting everyone addicted to technology and getting everyone to live in cities. That's what every piece of infrastructure in the world is. That's what it all is doing. It's all designed to turn the whole world into a computer and turn a human being into a battery. And that's why I talk about cleaning your body and knowing how to clean your body. You have to know how to get this stuff out of your body so you can be sovereign. Because that's really what's happening. The reason that they need the humans to do it is because they can't just come through into this realm. They need to find a way to communicate through to this realm without actually physically coming, and they're using the technology to do it. So you have to clean your body and get it all out of you. Otherwise, so it's very important.
That makes a lot of sense, guys. I mean, if you really think of it, it makes a lot of sense, because you know what? everywhere I go, I always analyze. That's the problem with me. I analyze, and everywhere you go, you see everybody staring at their phones. Doesn't matter where you go, at the mall, at a club, at a pub, at a restaurant, at a bus station. It doesn't matter. The schools, everybody is staring at their phones like a bunch of zombies. All right. So things that make you go, like we don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but what he said with that scrolling mirror, how people want to connect to the other side, I guess you could say, it's kind of weird how our phones are looking like that, right? It's always weird. And there's always an explanation for the madness. All right. But for me, the everything we talk about, everything we're getting programmed, right? We're getting programmed on a daily basis from news of Trump is bad and this and that. And they keep on throwing it out there. So people watch the TVs, television. So I do believe everything that young guy just said. If you really take off the blinders, it makes a lot of sense. All right. It really does. I'm just looking at your guys' comments. So yeah, it makes a lot of common sense. You just don't get stoned. I think someone mentioned take another hit. I don't think you get stoned and you think of this. If you actually have some kind of common sense, that makes a lot of sense if you really think of it. All right, because it really does look like a motherboard. When you take a motherboard out, it really does look like a city. I know for a fact myself, because my uncle owns BJW, and I remember as a young person when he used to take TVs apart and stuff like that, I'd go, "Holy shit, that looks like a city." You know what I mean? The way the motherboards were done up. So either way, it is what it is. I do believe something is very satanic when it comes to cell phones and TVs, because everyone looks like a bunch of effing zombies. I hate it. I hate the cell phone with a passion. The only thing I love about the cell phone, it gets the message out there, because if people had no cell phones and would have to listen to that bullshit on TV with the news, everyone would have thought that we were all dying from a killer virus, right? It's people like me that got the news out and give people a lot of common sense for the people that didn't know about that. It's impossible. No such thing as a killer virus. Anything that kills that is considered a virus is man-made. There's no cough flu out there that are killing people. All right. And if you don't think there's no evil in the world, check this out. This is Lady Gaga's video and introduction. Check out the evilness. We see evil every day, but check this out.
Viral video of Lady Gaga going around, and it said that her fans were concerned after she was performing looking like this. Now I'm going to warn you, if you have a weak stomach, do not look at these next clips. Yeah, that's Gaga, all right. Gaga has always had ritualistic shows. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show when she was getting puked on. But let's check that out. Yeah, that was Gaga. Shouldn't be a surprise. This is the same girl who hangs out with Marina Abramovic. Here we go acting like she's drinking blood from a body. And this is what people listen to. Another photo of them out in the wilderness. If you don't think that these people are into rituals, are into black magic, I really don't know what to say to help you. She has full-on chants in her song. And you got people that'll be at her concert just singing along, allowing things to enter into their temple at Lady Gaga's concerts. What do you think she's doing? If you don't know, she's a puppet for the...
So yeah, he talks about another 20 seconds, but I think you guys get the jizz from that. And speaking of, more evilness, everyone should know, a lot of the A-listers, celebrities, a lot of them have to sell their souls to get up that ladder. And here's The Rock, The Rock that literally sold his soul. And I think he knows he's screwed now, because now it's time for collecting Check this out, what he says.
We told y'all what Hollywood was about. We told you that everyone had to go through it. It don't matter if your name is The Rock and you think you are impervious. You're still going to have to do what everybody is doing in Hollywood. Y'all, The Rock's time in Hollywood might be coming to an end. Do y'all remember when he disappeared from the public for quite some time and then he came back out looking all scrawny and skinny and everybody's like, what the hell is going on? He just told us what happened, y'all. And he tried to do it in a sneakily way, but listen to him.
I left my soul on this one. I know it sounds weird, but you leave your soul or something like this. And I didn't know what that meant until I did it, and now I understand. And you know what's cool is you never know with things like this because you make the film, especially something like this that comes from in here, and you do it for you. And you release it, you begin to release it to the world. It's like, hey, this is my kid.
Did you hear what he said? He said he sold his soul. He left his soul in Hollywood, for this lifestyle, and he didn't know what was going to happen in his life until now. And now they are telling The Rock to pay up, and he's got to pay up. Look at his face, y'all. He doesn't seem too happy about it, and he looks like he's got a lot going on in his head. Now, one or two things can happen from here. Either The Rock sells his soul once again, and then he excels in these movies and everything that he's about to do, or it's over for him. But like I've been telling y'all, nobody is safe in Hollywood. You got to do what you.
So yeah, when you actually have people like that, and of course a lot of videos that I've showed, Jelly Roll is no different. Jelly Roll is the same thing. For the love of God, people stop following Jelly Roll. If you actually think he's this big fat dude that melted down and singing for the gospel of Jesus, and you know, reality, you don't become 400 pounds with tattoos on your face and rapping in the hood and all of a sudden change your life around to singing country music. It doesn't happen. That's just more deceiving, obviously deceiving with the devil. And there's lots of videos of him and his bunny, his wife, who does spells while he sleeps. And he, you know, you don't melt 200 pounds just because. Let's just put it that way. Please, for the love of God, when I hear people talk about Jelly Roll is this and Jelly Roll is that and Post Malone is this, and no, they're not this. They're people that sold their souls, and they're literally possessing you guys with their lyrics and their concerts, and people pay for this shit. That's why I don't understand most of you people that that cannot see through this crap by now. I mean, if you can't see it, if you couldn't see it through Jelly Roll, then you're never going to see it through anybody. Then everything else is pretty much fake for you. I had something with Justin Bieber here that I want to show you guys, but I think that will be it for that part. Let's do this video, since we're talking about the devil and stuff like that. This is actually kids being interviewed. All right. I don't know if they knew they were being interviewed, but these are little girls that are in the Masonry talking about how they were told to sacrifice little babies. You can't make this shit up.
When we ever done it for Papa, the first time when we really done it, we had feared so much.
When you did what?
When you killed the baby, first time. And
you killed the babies?
Yes.
Yourself?
With Papa. Papa holding my hand, he helped me. But he told me to cut the baby's head off. But he forced me to. I couldn't.
He held your hand?
He held my hand, yes.
Like what? Show me.
So this is my hand on the knife. He put his big hand on, and he pushed my hand and then cut off the head. Like that. And then when we got older, we got more used to it. But then we understood. Then when my mom found out about it, she understood. She told me that is wrong to do this kind of stuff. So then me and Gabriel had still been used to it, but then we had understood that it's wrong.
And so, what the decision is?
And our decision, we had still a lot of fear in our head. But then when we read a book called June, it said that fear is the mind killer. So when we heard that, we thought that it was true. It was not really true. But then after, there was a man called Abraham who came to help us. He said that it is true, that fear is the mind killer. And then after, he said we have to face our fear. So then after we faced our fear,
Look in the camera. The camera is here.
and then we after,
Camera is here. This
and
one.
then after we faced our fear. And we got left.
So what's you decided?
And
Come here, Gabriel.
and we decided that we should stop. But then it's like,
Come, Gabriel. Come closer to Alice.
Yeah. So even though I seen some people say this is an old video, I don't care if it's 20 years old. The whole purpose of showing this is a lot of people didn't see videos like this. So it's showing people that even there's Satan, there's evilness on this earth. And for someone that just said that the kid they were lying, kids like that can't lie. Sorry. If you know anything about psychology, I have a degree in it. Kids like that don't lie when they actually, that's why she asked them, how did that person do it? Well, put the hand down and help me do this. Kids don't have enough imagination to even think like that. And they didn't stutter. They didn't stop for a second to think it out. All right. Sorry about that, but common sense is not in your common sense is not in your your mind when it comes to psychology and kids, just to let you know. Speaking of kids, maybe this one was faking it too. It's 21 seconds. Read. I don't know if you guys can read because it's in a foreign language, but take a look if you can with your phone of what she's saying.
Aber lebt es. Und die haben das dann aufgegessen. Und es waren dann nur noch Haare und alle anderen Knochenteile übrig. Und Augen und Zähne.
Yeah, that was one of the files on the Epstein files when this little girl said that she saw them kill a kid, a baby, and ate the eyes, the skin, and everything on Epstein's island. Just to let you know, maybe that kid was lying too, because maybe those tears were fake for the people that were just saying that it was a lie. Now, this is one of the main reasons why I get angry when people say, "Why is he not releasing the Epstein files?" That's one out of what, 6 million of documents and videos on the Epstein files. And that's just bits and pieces of the shit that the Skippy files, this little girl, like you don't even understand the Wiener, whatever you call him. His files were so drastic. Like I told you the other day, that a couple police officers in New York committed suicide of the stuff they seen on the Weiner videos, right? That's got to be bad for for even tough cops in New York that commit suicide because they couldn't take what they seen. All right, just to let you know. All right, so here's a common sense question about Donald Trump. And when someone asks about the Patriot, and maybe if you could think outside the box, which you can't think outside the box for if you're a liberal, but check this out.
Do you think that this person is a patriot or a traitor?
Absolute patriot.
Why?
He'd be on Mount Rushmore 4 times.
Why do you say that?
This is the guy who gave up everything to try to save this country, and everyone came after him, tried to put him in prison, tried to kill him twice, and still became the president of the United States twice. The only president, I think, in history to lose net worth. Obama, Bush, the Clintons, they all got wealthy after they became president. He's lost his net worth. He sacrificed everything. He didn't have to, and they tried to kill him for it. Tried to put him in prison for it, and he beat it all. Absolute patriot.
Yeah. So for Mr. Freedom, he's such a retard. I mean, if you guys don't know what Mr. Freedom's doing now, he's like showing like Titania True Seeker. They're doing like 4 or 5 videos a day because now they're getting monetized on the video. So that's why you're seeing every time you guys click on their videos, because they'll talk about anything now, they make money off of it, just to let you know, because they're getting monetized now. So when you just that common sense question, why is Trump still in office when he's losing? They're trying to kill him, they try to impeach him, they try to put him in prison, but he's still part of the club. Oh my God, just so much people. Like Kissinger would say, useless eaters. And on the Epstein files, when he was writing to Gates saying they have a plan on how to get rid of the poor people on the earth, right? That's on the Epstein files. And get ready for the pandemic, the upcoming pandemic. That was on the Epstein files too. But I do agree. I do believe that we have a lot of useless eaters on this earth. We really do. But I mean, there's a way to depopulate without having to hurt people, obviously. But the useless eaters are people that vote liberal, Vote Democrat, Antiva, those people. Those are useless eaters that we don't need on the face of the earth, to be honest with you. Those people need to go. I would have no problem to depopulate in a heartbeat. And if things are not happening behind the scenes, look at the center votes that are.
This time is personal. It's time to reap what you sow. Nowhere to run, nowhere to.
That's right. Another senator in Georgia was arrested. Who else got arrested? Let's see. This guy right here. State senator, staff member arrested on federal child sex trafficking charges. So he's gone. Who else was gone? This right here has been arrested. The son of the Norwegian crown that visited Epstein's island together with her 29-year-old Hobie has been detained and is facing 38 charges, including the rape of 4 women. That's right. Where's all the arrests, Jeff? Who else here? Let's go with this one. The Epstein strikes again. Peter Mandelson has been arrested. That's right. He's one of the British politicians known for his influential roles in the Labour Party, including serving as a key advisor to Prime Minister Tony Blair. And also, if you know anything with this piece of shit, he's actually on the same thing with Epstein, on the files with Epstein, and being investigated with Mark Carney, just to let you know. In one of the files, himself, Mandelson, and Mark Carney are both being investigated. That's right. You heard that right. Just to let you know, for you liberal voters, they are being investigated with Mark. So Carney is going to last any much longer, just to let you know. And on the Epstein file too, which we all know this, Epstein files confirmed that Biden was executed by a firing squad. That's right, in 2019. That was in the Epstein files too, which we all know that Joe Biden wasn't the real Joe Biden. So nothing's happening, Mr. Freedom. Of course not. No one's getting arrested. And speaking of no one's getting arrested, what was this one? So down in Japan, ahead of the game unveils the new anti-Islam law. So in Japan, they're literally, halal has been banned, large mosques have been banned, call to prayer have been banned, praying in the street has been banned. They're basically saying Islam is not welcome in Japan. And when will Europe follow? So they're getting rid of Islam out of Japan. Also, this one here, I love this one. In Germany, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, Wedel, declares Germany is finished with migrants. Within 100 days, I will close borders, eliminate subsidies for migrants, and carry Germany's largest deportation. Now, of course, I wonder why they're doing all that. You think it's got anything to do with Donald Trump? Of course not, right? Nothing to do with Donald Trump that's making these countries do this, right? Who else do you think is doing this? And speaking about evil, check this out. Justin Bieber's father-in-law, of course, Stephen Baldwin, said the devil runs Hollywood, and that is not part of what he dealt with. That's why they try to make him crazy. Once upon a time, when he was a very big star, they tried to make everyone believe that he was crazy. Stephen Baldwin. That's why you never got to see in the shows. And Mel Gibson and Jim Carrey finally, when he came out and said everything about the Illuminati. Remember on that show with Colbert, I think it was, or I don't know what the other retard night show, when he came out and he was like this to everybody, right? And they made him look crazy and said it's because his ex left him and he's going crazy. And of course, Whoopi Goldberg now. Whoopi. The main reason why she hates Donald Trump. Watch this. I'll give it only a minute, but check what Benny Johnson says.
What's up, guys? Benny. This is one of my favorite news cycles out of the entire Epstein saga. Whoopi Goldberg, the person who's constantly lecturing President Trump about who he associates with and his sordid past with women, was on her knees in front of Jeffrey Epstein, begging for free flights, and then begging Jeffrey Epstein to go with her. Whoopi Goldberg and other members of The View mentioned in the Epstein files. Oh no. Look at this. This is the number of cast member mentions in The View. By the way, we run a media company here. 0 mentions in the Epstein files. Okay, there's 1 mention. It's when Kash Patel was on my show talking about the Epstein files. It's like a news clip.
So yeah, that's why, The View and all those twits and twats talk bad about Donald Trump, because they know if the Epstein files are released, they're screwed, as you've seen from Benny Johnson. And you know why it's true? I'll tell you why it's true. Because if Benny Johnson, if anything of any bit of this was false, Benny Johnson would be sued to the tits. That's the thing about the United States. You can't make this shit up. You'll get sued to, I mean, down to your underwears and your socks. So that's why it's, you know, I think she came on the show and apologized or something. I don't know. I don't follow The View, but this is why they hate Donald Trump. That's it. That's all. Anyway, guys, that will be it for tonight. I hope you guys loved the videos that I showed. Obviously, the common sense for the people that have been following for the longest time. It is what it is. Please, for the love of God, stop drinking the fluoride water. Start using your pineal gland. Take the blinders off and think outside the box. And maybe one day you too will have common sense and wake up to this world that we're living in today's world, which is going to get better thanks to the Orange Man. It's coming slowly but surely. Mexico's being cleansed as we speak. Cuba's being cleansed as we speak, and obviously Venezuela. Next is Colombia, which is great. All right, guys, I love you all. Thank you. We'll see you back Thursday. Enjoy the snowstorm for you New Brunswickers. I'm going to dread snow plowing tomorrow, but I got a snowblower, so it's not as bad. I wouldn't shovel that shit tomorrow. Anyway, I love you guys all. Take care and see you back Thursday.
Miss out. Bringing you the real truth, exposed. The Canadian Dawn is digging deeper, asking what others won't, and broadcasting it uncensored. For real. Join the conversation live with facts you can see and voices you can trust. Subscribe today.